Welcome to Biblical Christian Content, where we like to keep the content biblical. Let's go.
Salvation is an encounter with the living God. It is not just believing a set of doctrines. I've actually talked to people who I've said, tell me about when you were converted, and they begin to tell me about when they came to the doctrines of grace. Brother Paul Washer and I were in a meeting over in Bowling Green, Kentucky. He was doing the preaching, of course, and I was doing the listening. As always, the young people mobbed him that day. There was a young man who came up to Paul and he said, I have a question for you. And he asked Paul the question. He pointed to me and he said, well, Brother Mike here is a pastor friend of mine. Let him answer that question. And so the young man turned to me and I looked up at him. He's a rather tall fellow, and I looked up at him. Of course, everybody's tall to me, but I looked up at him. And I said, before I answer your question, let me ask you a question. He said, okay. I said, tell me about your conversion. And he said, well, as a child, I was brought up in a certain Church of Christ, Christian church, and I was baptized in a certain place. Now, let me ask you the question. I said, wait. I didn't ask you about when you were baptized. Tell me about when you were converted. You see, let me tell you something. You can knock the ball out of the park, but if you miss first base, you're out. There's a lot of people who believe that they know God because they believe certain doctrines. That is not what saves you. What saves you is coming into a living encounter with a holy God through Jesus Christ by the work of the Holy Spirit. That is salvation. There are multitudes who profess Jesus Christ with their mouth who have never really experienced that.